Well, it's like they say, better late than never. And in this case, we're talking about this guy here, the Hellcat Pro Comp, a gun that you guys have asked about pretty much since the day it was announced. Now the thing is, because I live in a state that has mag restrictions, I had to wait for Springfield to drop one of these that comes with 10 round mags. Once they did that, it proved to be extremely difficult to find one in stock, but recently I just so happened to come across one, and here we are. Now I realize that basically every content creator out there on the internet has made a video about this gun, but I figure with all of the Hellcat Pro content that I do here on my channel, I might be able to lend, I don't know, a little bit of perspective as somebody who's really into the Hellcat Pro. I love the Hellcat Pro. It's a great carry gun. It's slim, it's lightweight. I get a full grip, which gives me a lot of manipulation over the firearm. I don't have to use any hokey pinky extensions or anything. It's a great gun. Before we get started, let's go ahead and feed that YouTube algorithm. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. Let me know, how long do you think these porta potties are going to last before somebody uses tannerite to send them straight to the moon? My guess is they don't make it till spring. On a side note, I have set up memberships for the channel. It's a great way for you to show some support. You know, YouTube has been not a great friend to the 2A community lately. There's been a lot of demonetization going on. It's not all about the money, but you know, this stuff gets expensive. The guns, the accessories, the ammo, the equipment upgrades, it all adds up real quick. When YouTube pulls advertising, it makes it real hard to keep making content. So as a paid member, you will gain access to all this content early compared to everybody else. Generally, when I finish completing a video, I will go ahead and simultaneously upload it to YouTube as well as Rumble. It is free to watch early on Rumble as soon as it goes up. But here on YouTube, I've got to go back and forth arguing with them about the advertising for right about a week to 2 weeks before I finally just get frustrated and post it anyways. As a member, you'll get this content as soon as it gets uploaded. As an added bonus, you get the satisfaction of knowing that you are single-handedly helping bring more content like this to YouTube. For everybody that's already signed up, big appreciation to you guys. All right, enough of that. So I have kept this so far pretty much stock, other than adding this C&H Precision EDC enclosed optic to the Hellcat Pro. I haven't added any upgrades or any parts to it. I wanted to go ahead and get some experience with it just as it comes from the factory. Yes, it's the same gun as the Hellcat Pro. Same barrel, same sight, same optic mount. Basically, the only difference, big hole in the barrel. Now, there are two primary complaints about the Hellcat Pro that I hear quite often. Number one is the trigger, and number two is that it's a little bit more snappy than people expect for it to be. Now, a lot of you already know that I have several of these. All of them are sporting the Apex triggers, and I've gotten to a point where I guess I'm kind of spoiled with those Apex triggers. I kind of forgot how bad the stock Hellcat Pro trigger is. This is the same dog shit trigger that is in the original Hellcat Pro. It's not any better. It's actually quite terrible. This trigger shoe is uncomfortable. It bites into my finger. The trigger pull, it's rough, it is stiff, and I personally feel like it's heavier than what it really needs to be. All of these things can affect your accuracy with the Hellcat Pro. Not to say that it's not an accurate pistol, but the smoother that the trigger is, the more comfortable it is on your finger, the better that you're going to be with your shot placement. The main reason for considering the Hellcat Pro Comp over the standard Hellcat Pro is the snappiness, the recoil impulse of the standard Hellcat Pro. Now, I didn't personally find that to be like a huge deal, like a deal breaker as far as how much recoil it had, but a lot of people have made that complaint. Anybody that's watched the channel for a while knows that I've spent a lot of time over the last couple of years working with these guns on different ways to mitigate recoil because, well, quite frankly, everybody keeps asking about it. I've done everything from putting Hogue grips on my other guns to various port jobs. Let's see, the Go Gun USA gas pedal, Floyd's Custom Shop, Magwell, all of these things have really helped to dial in the gun and reduce the actual amount of muzzle rise. The question is though, how does the Hellcat Pro comp perform? Once I got over getting used to that stock trigger again, I feel like the Hellcat Pro comp has performed pretty well. Still don't like that trigger, but when you talk about how much muzzle rise this comp gun has versus this stock gun, it's certainly reduced. I personally feel like the single port comp is a little bit inefficient, if you will. It does have an expansion chamber built into it, which is kind of nice, but I think that they could do better. We are reducing quite a bit of recoil. The volume level is off the charts. It's quite concussive when you shoot it. So if you're looking at this gun, that's something to think about if you're going to use it in close quarters, anything indoors or potentially in a vehicle. That's really not going to be real pleasant to the old eardrums. For those of you who haven't shot a ported gun before, it can really take you off guard when you shoot this guy. You may experience a certain level of, I don't know, flinching perhaps, because that blast is so much stronger than what you may be used to. Now, as a stock configured gun, obviously we are reducing recoil, but I think that there is more that you can do to reduce the recoil on this gun. I think adding some of those other components that I have with my other Hellcat Pros can really help with this thing. But overall, straight out of the box, I think that this is a great attempt by Springfield to bring you a Hellcat Pro that has less overall recoil. As a side note, C&H enclosed EDC optic, pretty sick. It's direct mount, it's enclosed, got the circle, dot, reticle. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. We'll be doing a video on this guy real soon. I think one of the big advantages to buying the Hellcat Pro comp over the standard Hellcat Pro is that when buying the comp, you have the ability to turn around and say buy a threaded barrel. If you want to use a threaded barrel, say for suppression, you can put that on there. Or there are a number of, I don't know, inexpensive options for non-ported barrels that you can go ahead and put in this as well, so that you have multiple options of ways to shoot this gun. For instance, when shooting at the indoor range, shooting one of these guns that is ported or compensated is not the most pleasant thing. I can double up on my hearing protection, and I'll tell you, it sounds like it is a much larger caliber gun than what it really is. So by buying the Hellcat Pro comp, you have that ability to go ahead and swap out to a barrel that isn't ported for instances like that, where you may be in an indoor setting and you don't want to have all of that noise. I think that the reduction in muzzle rise with the Hellcat Pro comp is pretty respectable, and I'm glad that Springfield is making most of their guns in a ported option now. For the price of the Hellcat Pro comp versus the standard Hellcat Pro, I think it's a great deal. And if you're in the market for a great carry gun, this may just be what you're looking for. One thing that's disappointing is that Springfield isn't offering this as the Gear Up package, so you can't buy this with all the extra mags that they do with the original Hellcat Pro. Now, I know what you guys really want to know here is which one of the ported versions of this gun performs better. That's not going to be today's video. Obviously, I have both of the port jobs that Floyd's Custom Shop offers. I also have the custom slide by Apex that is also ported. Right now though, I have another non-ported barrel that I sent off to Floyd's to do kind of a port variation, if you will. It's not my own design, but somewhat similar to a design that's already out there. It's just a variation of it. Once that comes back to me after the first of the year, then we're going to go ahead and do the big video. That's going to be long, probably boring and nerdy, but we're going to compare all of these port jobs and see which one works the best. I'm not out here today with my Mantis X to measure the actual recoil reduction on this gun. I'm just out here kind of testing it, seeing how it functions, and checking it out overall. You can expect that big recoil reduction video probably by the end of January, but it's going to depend on when that other barrel comes back to me and when I can actually get out here and measure the recoil with all of the versions that I have of the Hellcat Pro. I think that's going to be it for today, guys. This is just a quick once over of the Hellcat Pro comp. We'll see you back here real soon. Thanks for watching.